welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment with any questions. This video is going to be about Airbnb and lessons that I've learned over the 3 years being a host. It's kind of a mixture of what I've changed now versus from the beginning, and if I had to set up a home again, what would I do differently? What would I change after knowing what I know now? So the first thing that people have questions about on Airbnb is pricing. How do you price your house? So I have another video about that, so you guys should check it out. But one thing that I've learned is you, of course, want your price to be appealing to guests. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're covering all your expenses and making money, or it's just not worth doing. So that was my initial thinking when I set up our Airbnb. I need to make sure it's a good price, but that we're also making money. So those are really the only two things I took into consideration. And I checked out other listings in our area, in our subdivision, to see what people were charging. And I kind of went off that, as well as how much money we needed to make to be profitable and to make it worth the while. So that's what I did in the beginning. Now I've learned that after 3 years, sometimes when you price a home and you give really good discounts and you have people that are staying at your house, for example, the normal price I have on our house, it fluctuates between probably $100 to $125 per night. That's the normal pricing. But then every once in a while, I'll put in a different pricing to encourage stays. So for example, during COVID, if I've had a cancellation, I will take that time and I'll put a discount on that time. So maybe the guest would pay like $85 a night. And a lot of times it resulted in bookings, which are really good because you fill up your time and you get revenue for that time, even though it's a little less per night. So that was kind of my strategy. What I've learned is when I price the home at 100 or 125, I get a certain type of guest. When the pricing gets into $70, $80 per night, I tend to attract a different caliber of guest. And sometimes it's not worth it to go down in price. Just to give you guys an idea, in our area, the hotels and resorts charge between $400 and $600 a night. We're charging for our house, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house, $100-ish per night. So when I go down into the $70, $80 per night, I'm going to attract people that are not wanting to pay a lot and might not respect the home and take care of the home like other people would. So not to discourage you guys from doing discounts, because I still do them from time to time, but just be aware that you don't want to price a house too low, because you just might not get the caliber of guests that you're looking for. So another thing that I wanted to touch on is the furnishings in the house. So to give you guys a little background, we bought our house in Drax Hall near Ocho Rios. We started the process in 2015, and we actually took possession of the home in 2016. So a few years ago, and our life was completely different then. Since then, since we got that house, we've had 2 kids. So as you can imagine, our priorities, our flexibility to travel has really changed a lot. So when we set up our house, we never had the intention of putting it on Airbnb. This was going to be our retreat, our place to go in Jamaica and just relax and have fun and just kind of be on our own. So when we furnished the house, we furnished it really nicely. The furniture is very nice. The linens, the quilts I have on the bed, they're very nice. Um, Originally, the glasses, the dishes, the silverware that I put in the house were all very nice. Everything was really nice. Um, and what's happened is over time, over these 3 years, little by little, a lot of my linens, towels, washcloths, drinking glasses, kitchen utensils, they've been stolen. People have stolen them. So there's a fine line between putting really nice things in the house and putting too nice of things. Like you want the house to be nice so people have a comfortable stay, but you don't want to put things that are so nice that they want to steal it. And that's what we have definitely experienced at our house. So now when we replace these items, we get very standard things. Now, I will make a comment here. If you are marketing your home as a luxury home, then you want to make sure you have high-end towels, all that stuff. Make sure that the linens are really nice. Um, but to that point that I was saying earlier about pricing, if your home is marketed as a luxury home, you're probably going to be charging, 200, maybe over $200 a night, depending on the location, the size of the home, all those things. There's a lot of factors that go into pricing. But you would be charging a higher rate for your home. So hopefully you'll get guests that will respect the home more and not steal your stuff. But just be aware, if you're setting up your home for Airbnb and it's going to be just kind of a standard house, um, get nice things, make sure everything's clean and it's good quality, but you might not want to get like the top of the line quality because they will steal it. They'll steal it right out of your house. So that's one thing I would definitely do different. If, like I said, we didn't initially set up our house for Airbnb. If I was setting it up for Airbnb, I definitely would have gotten like a different sofa. I think the sofa we have in our house, we have like a sectional and then a separate 3-seat couch. And I want to say we paid like, I think for all the living room furniture, I paid like $4,500 or $5,000 US, which seems crazy to me now because honestly, when we stopped doing Airbnb at our house and we live there, I'm going to want to get a new sofa. So I wish I would have put a nice sofa in there, but a cheaper sofa. Let the Airbnb guests use that. And then when we move in, get something nice like we have there now. So yes, lessons learned. A lot of the other furniture we got really nice heavy beds. Those will stay. I mean, those are fine. Like, I'm definitely gonna like replace mattresses and things like that. But the actual bed furniture, it will be fine. So just keep this in mind. If you are furnishing a house from the start for Airbnb, get nice things, but not too nice. So this kind of leads into the next point that I have of taking an inventory of the home. So if you have guests that are staying at your home and, one guest leaves, the next guest comes, you have 4 or 5 guests come, in a few month period, and then you start noticing there's missing things. Like, I don't have enough drinking glasses for the people staying in the house, or I don't have enough washcloths to put in these bedrooms, or I don't have enough towels. And you're not sure where they went missing. You don't know if it was one guest or the other. So what I really suggest is certain things like sheet sets, pillowcases, bath towels, hand towels, washcloths, drinking glasses, plates, pots and pans, all these things that are like small and easy to put in a bag to carry out. Make sure that you have an inventory of those. You know how many you have in the house. And at the end of each stay, make sure that your housekeeper, yourself, your co-host, whoever is managing the house, takes a quick inventory of all this stuff. Make sure you have, 10 washcloths, 8 towels, whatever it may be that you have in the house. Make sure your silverware is complete, your knife set. What else? Like small appliances also. If you have, another thing I would say is if you have a lot of cleaning supplies, if you have like a surplus of cleaning supplies, if you buy them in bulk, because what I tend to do is when I go down, I'll buy the big packages of like Tide, the pods, or dryer sheets. I'll buy the big boxes and take them down, and I leave them for the housekeeper. If you have a lot of stuff like that, make sure, if you want to leave some out for the guests, of course, that's good, but then make sure you lock up the rest of the cleaning detergent, or if it's Dawn or whatever it may be. If you have a bunch of hand soaps that you have there, make sure you lock those up, because people will steal those too. You always want to make sure that there's enough for the guests, but not an excess. Because if there's a lot of stuff there, they'll say, oh, these people have, enough hand soap for 6 months. I'm just going to take 3 bottles of it, and they won't even miss it. And you probably wouldn't, unless you were keeping track of it. So if you have one cabinet in the kitchen or the laundry room that you can store these type of things in and lock it, that's a really good idea. Because then when your housekeeper goes to clean, or you have to replace a hand soap in the bathroom or something like that, you'll have that stuff there to use, and it'll deter people from stealing it. So the checklist is really important for those things, and then the other items that I mentioned. So those are some of the lessons I've learned while hosting. I will say my experience is probably different than some others, because I have co-hosts, a house manager that manages the house, because we live in New York and our Airbnb is in Jamaica. So I'm not like physically there. So I think my experience might be a bit different, but I think the same principles apply whether you're hosting your place yourself or you have a co-host. Doing some of these things might make it a bit easier on you, and make sure that when the guests come, they have everything they need, and there's no missing items once they leave. So hope this information was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, maybe other things that you think might be a good suggestion or anything like that, please reach out to me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys and answer your questions. So make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys next time.